everybody, welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division in the Summer Major Tournament. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, so let's go. We're gonna start directly with the drive. Quarterback, 3 bars of topspin and then 2.5 bars side spin to the right. I'm playing with a Marlin ball, which gives me power 0. So it doesn't give me anything extra, and it only gives me side spin 1. We do need to over adjust our drive 10%, so that was 5, but 5 times 2 then that is going to be just fine. In this playthrough as well, you're going to see only my shots, so it's a shorter, sweeter playthrough, so you don't have to bother with my opponent's shots, just my own. So 287, we go to the second shot, and I'm going to approach this one with a long iron. This shot as well is going to be 10%, so 10% downhill, so you need to add that to your adjustment. 2 bars of backspin, I'm aiming for the pin, but as you can see as well, I'm having around 2 green squares before the pin starts with the tip of my ball guideline. This because that we are not having a fully developed ball guideline on the Goliath level 4 or any other, lower level clubs. And now we're going to take our shot and we're going to approach the pin. And if we are lucky, we're going to get the ball in the hole. Boom! So we go to hole number 2. Hole number 2 is going to be the toughest hole that we do have in the whole tournament, in my opinion. It's first 10% we need to add here as well. 10% downhill with with max side spin to the right, which is 4.5 and 2.5 bar topspin. Please bear in mind that using too much topspin here, you are going to go into the rough there on top, as our opponent is very close to. In this case, I'm playing with the extra mile, but I would say that this would be a better shot for the quarterback, because the quarterback has more curl, and we do need to use curl once we're gonna bounce here to the right, because we do want to gain as much distance as possible to the top right of this fairway. And tighten ball, very, very important as for the distance. Not that much for the drive, but for this shot here. Because here we do have to bounce over the rough and the sand, and you're going to approach the pin here from distance. This is a very tricky approach towards the pin, and I would suggest to use half a bar to 1 bar of backspin maximum, because here you can see that even if we are stretching out our target, we're still going to have the ball bounce into the rough. So we do need to back up, we do need to use only 1 bar of backspin and then to bounce over the bunker. 20% extra for the approach here that you do need to add to your wind to get the correct wind and then adjust from there. I know it's tough with elevation, but please don't hesitate to ask if you do have any questions. We get it down there to the green, and frankly, I will take this eagle all day and every day, because this is going to be a very, very tough albatross to get. Hole number 3, par 3, max side spin to the right with a side spin 2 ball, which is the Quasar, which is 4.5 bar side spin. The more side spin you use to the right, the easier it's going to get for you to kind of grade proof your shot. If you don't have any Quasars, but you do have a katana, then play with a katana instead. Same type of structure, max side spin to the right, then line up your shot after that. Make sure that you're using 1.5 to 2 bars of backspin. I'm using 1.5 here and coming in a little bit too hot. Last but not least, do not forget to add the 10% for your over adjustment here. Once again, we're playing it downhill, and then we need to add to our adjustment so we're not going to mess up and bounce directly into the sand. Very close, and we're gonna go directly here to hole number 4. Hole number 4, playing with the Marlin once again. When I can, I play with the Marlin in rookie. It's enough to use side spin. Like the 2.5 bar side spin is very valuable here. And I'm playing with the extra mile as it gives me top spin. I only have 3 bars top spin on the quarterback, and therefore the extra mile with the 4.5 bar top spin is going to be the better club of them two. Bouncing there on the fairway, trying to gain as much distance as possible here on the fairway. This is the only drive here that we are not going to add or subtract anything. We're just going to play it as it is. Now, for the second shot, we do have an approach here with our short iron. And the short iron here could be used going for the rough bump, but I feel that is kind of inconsistent. So we're just going to use the fairway before the green, using our short iron with at least 4 bars of backspin, so we're not getting ourselves in a position where we have too little backspin to approach the pin. So if you have a lower level Hornet and you normally use that, it's better in my opinion to use a lower level Thorn, as you do have in that case some backspin to play with. This one is over adjusted 10%, so you do need to add that to your adjustment, then you're gonna get it in the hole. Nice. Hole number 5 is the second par 3, and here you can see that I'm going to get a little glitched, and with that I mean that the ball is going to find a spot on the green where it basically like it's basically like it slows down, then it takes speed again, like a water slide, you know, you drop down and then you go oh, and then you drop down again, so it feels very weird. This approach is going to be 10% extra, and I'm using half a bar to 1 bar of backspin. I would say that that is going to be enough, and I'm playing also with a basic ball. The basic ball is used as I don't need side spin, I don't need really wind resistance, I don't really need anything, so I'm just going to play it straight at the pin, then go from there. Hole number 6, and here we're going to play 10% downhill, but this is going to be a drive that we're going to play very aggressively, and that is to use a power 2 ball. You don't need a power 3 ball. You can use a power 3 ball if you want to, but a power 2 ball is the minimum. Max side spin to the right and only 1 bar of top spin, because you do want to stay with your target on the right side to give yourself as open shot towards the pin possible. Now when we do approach, we are not going to add or subtract anything. 2 to 3 bars of backspin, aim for the pin, and then we're going to adjust our rings from this position. The thing is here is that make sure that you're using a couple of bars of backspin, because if you just go slightly too long with this shot, the ball is going to fall, you know, over the back of the green and then roll down, and then you're going to have a wedge. Sure, that wedge shouldn't be a problem, but it's always a little bit of pressure when we're not having a putt. You can see here I'm coming in just a little bit too hot, and then it falls down there to the other side. Hole number 7, the toughest of the par 3s. I'm playing this one 20% extra. That is a lot, I know, but very, very important, as you're otherwise going to have a problem getting this one to green. 1.5 bar backspin and 2.5 bar side spin to the right. I would say that 1 bar could be enough here, because we do have some headwind. Not much, but we do have some headwind anyway. So 20% with our long iron, and we're going to adjust that, and we're going to take our shot. The plan here is of course get the ball as close to the pin possible, but I would say that if you're just getting this one to green, then you're gonna be okay, because this is a very tough par 3 where we will see very few hole-in-ones. My favorite hole, hole number 8, and here you can use either a quarterback or you can use an extra mile. I would like to play with an extra mile. Sorry, I would like to play, mixed it together. I would like to play with a quarterback. 3 bars of topspin, which is the maximum. If you do have more topspin, you use that. You use as much topspin as possible. 4.5 bar side spin to the right, and then we're going to go with some curl. And you can see here that I'm using around half a ball to 75% of the ball outside the adjustment ring to the right. And we're bouncing here on the fairway, and we're gaining as much distance possible here on the fairway. Make sure that you do aim a little bit higher up with your target when you do start. You don't need to back up that much that I did, but make sure that you're playing with a quarterback with a decent amount of curl. A lower level extra mile could potentially be having too little curl, especially in a lower level. Also with the drive, 10% extra. Very important. Oh, and now shot number 2. We aim for the pin. This is also going to be 10% downhill, and this is just barely going to miss, but it's a very, very good chance that we do have to making an eagle. So we are approaching the pin. You can see here already we're gonna miss a little bit to the right, even though it's close. So, hole number 9, here we're going to play a route that I would say is the way for players playing in rookie. We have our opponent that is up there to the left, but I don't agree with that play, because if you're playing in rookie, you normally don't go with a bunch of rough bumps and a bunch of technical adjustments. It should be as easy and simplified as possible, in my opinion. So therefore I'm playing on the right side, using 4.5 bar topspin, 4.5 bar side spin, and also using a power 3 ball. The power 3 ball is crucial, as we're otherwise going to have a problem reaching for the green in 2. And we can see here we're getting the ball to bounce, and we do want to gain as much distance possible, but also want to be as far to the left as possible, as we're going to play up to the left for our second shot. Big dog gives us distance. This combined with the power 3 ball will help us big time. Max side spin to the right, which is 4.5 bars with the Titan. And then you can see here I'm using 1.5 bar backspin, which is now in the end going to be a little bit too much. So use a little bit less, use 1 bar of backspin, and then you adjust for your shot, take your shot, and the ball is going to bounce nicely up towards the pin. We do need to over adjust 10% for the drive. We don't need to over or under adjust anything for the second shot. So this was the playthrough for Rookie Division. As you see, I'm only using my shots in this playthrough to really keep the focus for us, and also going to make it easier to follow. If you do want to see more content for the Summer Major and the Akacha Reserve, then you can find that on golfclashtommy.com. Also, if you like the video, take your time, hit thumbs up as well. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Good luck in the tournament.